Hi, my name is Doreen Maisie Buckman. My family's down here for years and years and years. My grandfather was here in the early 1900s. He had a drugstore with the soda fountain where you'd go in and get the old A-creams, you know. My dad and my Aunt Yvonne worked there for many, many years. We love this town. And right across the bay in the marshes, they were dotted with little bungalows. There was bungalows, you know, every couple of 100 feet. Burl Ives actually had a bungalow here for many, many years, straight out from the Point View Inn. It was there forever. Just recently they condemned all of the bay houses and demolished them. But they were fun summer houses. You could only get there by boat. There was no running water. There was no electricity.
Well, originally these were summer cottages. The Point Lookout origins come from two places. There was a community to the west of us called Nassau by the Sea, which is approximately where Malibu Beach Club is now. And that existed until maybe 1914 or 1915. And there was a fire there, and what was remaining, they moved most of these cottages to Point Lookout. These are some of the original cottages, and you can see the type of structure. Architecturally, it was a beach shack. The first development of Point Lookout brought in a lot of these type houses that we have over here, bungalows. In the 1950s and the 1960s, Point Lookout went through a transformation from a summer beach community to an all-year-round community, and in line with that, the architecture increased. However, even to this day, Point Lookout is the only community in the township of Hempstead of 790,000 people that doesn't have a sewer system. We still have cesspools. So any development in Point Lookout has to be measured with the capacity of the ground to absorb the needs of cesspools. The architecture in the last couple of years has become higher and wider, but not necessarily that striking. It's basically people are on building plots that approximate about 2,400 square feet. That's small. And people are attempting to put up a lot of McMansions on these properties. There are very severe and restrictive zoning ordinances, which are for the good of the people in Point Lookout, that prohibit height and width to a great extent. So you don't have the sweeping Frank Lloyd Wright type of architectural relief, or you don't even have the Long Beach type of architecture. You have small summer cottages that have been upgraded into bigger houses. And that's Point Lookout, all 9 blocks by 3 blocks.
I'd like for you to meet an old-time resident. She's here from the early 1920s, Audrey Brown, probably one of our oldest residents here in Point Lookout. What is something that we want to tell the world about Point Lookout, Audrey?
Well, it was a very nice community. As you said, we got to know just about everybody that came down for weekends, and the beach was beautiful. It was a big beach. They did have lifeguards. And,
I know my grandfather used to talk about, Point Lookout back in the day. And I remember growing up as a child that there was only like 300 people here. I remember knowing literally every single person growing up. And it was funny that you couldn't do anything bad because somebody would run back and tell you.
Sure.
But it was like a community raising the children.
Yeah, it was
back in the day.
Even in '29 when we came, there was sand dunes. Yeah, the streets weren't laid, the sidewalks were, but we had no gas or no electric.
So how did you make light? What did you do as far as
kerosene lamps? Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
wow.
Very nice kerosene lamps that gave a good light.
Mr. and Mrs. Ciccone. And Mr. Ciccone lived in this beautiful house right here. They had cherry trees in the backyard, and she used to encourage us all to jump up on the trees and pick the cherries. Well, there was a lot of houses growing up, but there was only 300 people. When I was a child, 300 people, you knew everybody. But now, most of the houses are lived in all year round. They're all heated and, full plumbing, and they're all year round. When we used to go to school, they would say, "Where are you from?" Everybody was from Long Beach, Long Beach, Long Beach. And then we'd say Point Lookout, and they would get a reaction like, "Oh my God, you live there all year round?" And we'd say, "Yes, we live here all year round." It was a special place to grow up. Literally everybody knew everybody. Now I don't think, everybody's friendly, but you don't know everybody that lives here anymore. It's a very different place. It was a very close-knit community. The boys would join the fire department as soon as they turned 18 years old. As soon as you were 14, you got a job at Brown's Lobster House. Some of the kids worked on the beaches, different jobs like that. But everybody literally knew everybody. It was really a wonderful place to grow up. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
My father and my uncle came here from Suffolk County in 1933 and put up this fish house behind us. Not where we're standing now, but the area behind us. And he had fishermen that lived here, and they had room and board. They got their meals next door at Sam Bowers Bar and Grill, which is now incorporated into our operation. It's a potato peeler. But we use it for peeling clams, shucking clams. Over the years, we used to shuck clams by hand with knives back in the 40s, 50s, into the 60s. Yeah, so that's harvesting boat, the Daystar. It's been declining. There's no fish on the beach anymore. So the boats have gotten a lot bigger, and they go offshore and stay several days. No more day trip boats, which is what it used to be. And they're catching quite a bit of shell. I don't see one in there, but I'm sure it is somewhere.
The oldest house in Point Lookout. This was actually barged over from Freeport. I say it's well over 100 years old. This is really typical of the period. All of the shingles. The house is maintained pristinely. This house is really eligible to be on the National Register of Historic Preservation. They've maintained literally everything. The wood floors, everything's intact. It's not a particular architect style, but this is very particular of the period. This is a gem. This is Point Lookout's gem. This is a neoclassic design. This is actually a William Reynolds original. William Reynolds actually, I guess it was in the early 1900s, actually used this site as his real estate office. He would sell properties right out of this site. You can see that it's in need of a little bit of repair. It's very typical of the Reynolds era, where they would have the white stucco, and this probably had, you know, the traditional red tile roof. It's a broken gem, but we love it.